I mean, yeah, why are you making such a big deal about it? Samus was just here a few days ago. Hey there, everybody, it's Vixie, and today I'm playing Metroid Samus Returns. The most recent Metroid game, in fact, and... Okay, there's my controller. I was worried for a second the controller wasn't inputted in. Yeah, this is the most recent Metroid game. I like it a lot, still, but it's still, like, out of the games I'm playing on this Metroid marathon, it's probably my least favorite of the bunch, but mostly in the it's the least good kind of way. I'll get into why when we actually play it. In the year 20X5 of the Cosmic Calendar, a Galactic Federation research team discovered an unknown life form on planet SR388. While they were able to successfully obtain a living sample, their research vessel was attacked by space pirates during their voyage home. This attack was no coincidence. The space pirates had set their sights on these mysterious organisms called Metroids. They planned to replicate the sample and exploit its ability to absorb the energy of any life form. Their intention was to use Metroids as a weapon, one powerful enough to conquer the entire galaxy. To combat this threat, the Galactic Federation dispatched a lone bounty hunter to infiltrate the space pirate base on planet Zebes. Against all odds, Samus Aran eradicated the Metroids on Zebes and defeated Mother Brain, the leader of the space pirates, and so their sinister plans were thwarted for a time. Concerned by these developments and by the great threat the Metroid species still posed on the galaxy, the Galactic Federation mounted another expedition to SR388. A special squadron of elite soldiers from the Galactic Federation Police was dispatched to investigate. The team soon went missing, but not before transmitting a small sampling of data back to the headquarters. Analysis of the data confirmed that Metroid presence within the interior of planet SR388. So long as they continue to exist, these Metroids would forever pose a devastating threat to the galaxy. Oh yeah, they went all out on this little recap bit. The resulting decision of the Galactic Federation Council was immediate and unanimous. Samus Aran, you must exterminate the Metroids once and for all. I'm such a simp for Prime 2. I still get the heebie-jeebies when I hear that music. Let me... Controls. Because my button setup on this is different. Okay. Oh hey, I'm using an ability you're technically not supposed to know about yet. This one mostly keeps the same kind of control scheme as the Zero mission, down to her being able to hold onto ledges. But thankfully, we don't need an individual power for that this time. Also, interestingly, we start with missiles. It's like, this is probably the most equipped Samus has ever been at the start of a 2D Metroid. something about the controls. This one controls like notably differently from the other 2D Metroids within this marathon, because the other 2D Metroids, when you press the L button, what it does is give you the diagonal aiming, and just depending on whether you're holding up or down is where you're gonna aim, like diagonally. In this game, they have more of a free aim feature, because the 3DS had the circle pad. Just the one disadvantage of that really being that you kind of have to plant yourself in place while doing this, because it uses the circle pad. Oh look, a controversial feature. This game's also notably different in that it has a bit more of an action slant to it. It's like the game demonstrated there, and like I've been using up to this point, so it's still tutorializing me on it anyway. It was a bit silly, but oh well. Most enemies have a counterable attack, and if you have good timing, it stuns them and you fire a guaranteed charge shot as your next attack. Pepper you from above, if you don't mind. Oh, whoops. Alright, I'm gonna get used to that, because like on this Xbox controller I have A set to B, like just because that's what worked for me the most when I played this during practice. Unfortunately, we do not have the ability to crawl yet. Slightly unnecessary cutscene, okay. And first we start with Morph Ball. How did Samus lose all her powers between Zero Mission and this game? Anyway, as same with Zero Mission, you can duck and go to Morph Ball now. Right here. That might be the way forward. So let's double back so we can get this. And oddly enough, in this game, missile packs give 3 instead of 5, so we're just going to end up at weird max missile numbers. Because this is weird. Because this is on because I'm doing this on emulator, there's usually a fancy animation where a bunch of glowing effects appear around Samus, and it looks kind of silly on emulator. Yeah. Like, the saving is just instant on emulator, I guess. In fact, I think the loading times in general are majorly cut down. And this is the whole conceit of this game and the original. There's a bunch of floors. They're not quite floors, but it's just easiest to describe them as floors. There's a bunch of floors, and on each floor you have a set number of Metroids to hunt down, and you can't progress like down here until you can't progress downward until you've hunted down all those Metroids. Is the volume good, by the way? I was like, I'm just wondering, because I have it down kind of low on purpose, just because there's a lot of screechy noises in this game. It's not constant, but it's enough to where it's like, why do you guys hate headphones users so much? Completely new to this game. In this game in particular, this wasn't in the original Metroid 2, is Aeon abilities. Aeon fuels special abilities like the Scan Pulse. Refill your gauge with Aeon orbs enemies may drop. You either beat them or successfully parry. And the Scan Pulse in particular, yeah, I can explain it. You press the A button and there's a big pulse, and it reveals breakable blocks in the environment. I'm thinking of all the like basic overworld music in Metroid, in like first overworld music in Metroid games. I like SR3D8, it's the best. Oh, I interrupted it. I keep complimenting the music and then interrupting it. Yeah, wall jumping in this music in this game too. Nope, stuff keeps popping up and interrupting me. Yeah, wall jumping in this game too, and it's a lot easier to do than in Super Metroid or the GBA games. But they've also nerfed it significantly. Yeah, I'm not using Amiibo, thank you. I think an item is down this way. Yes. Saves me a trip back because I missed that the first time I was here. That refills your energy, but since I'm full HP, I don't need it. I noticed this game also has like a lot of weird vastness to it. It's probably just because it's on 3DS, so they feel the need to make it things a little bit roomier, but it's like you could have complete screens of emptiness like that. It just like feels a little out of place in Metroid. Yeah, not a lot of people... Ow. Not a lot of people... I don't know how the general consensus on the Scan Pulse is. I know there's people that don't like it, which is like fine. But I'm fine with it, just like kind of as someone that's a bit like... Yeah, I can understand the argument that it kind of cheapens exploration a bit to have it just point out literal objects in the environment for you that are breakable in a game that kind of encourages you to just do the exploring on your own. I think for the sake of convenience, it's fine, personally. And also, also worth noting, there is no, what am I trying to say? There's no map stations in this game. Like, there's no map stations in this game. The Scan Pulse kind of replaces that. Messed up my first carry. There we go. This is our first Alpha Metroid. Not too hard to take down. In fact, I think this one is like a unique one-of-a-kind variant. Yeah, that's one of those ugly sounds that gets like unnecessarily loud. Yeah, I think that's a unique one-of-a-kind variant of an Alpha Metroid. That's weaker than all the other Alpha Metroids. What's down here? Oh, energy tank. Sweet. When are we gonna get to the Omega Metroids? What about Sigma Metroids? Yeah, charge beams in the game too. And they added a door that's unlocked by charge beam. Of all things. Whoa. Yeah, just like the other 2D Metroids, there's circles on the map that reveal item locations. It's nice that they kept that quality of life feature around. Why'd you stop? That's weird. The fanfare in this game is like reused from the Prime games. Of course, I have a bias toward if they're going to reuse any. I should download that song so I can play it on like the after stream. I do like that music. That sound was fine for me. That's another one of those like ugly screechy sounds. Yeah, this is what I talked about was when I was complaining about no camera control. It's like one neat thing about the free aiming is that you can control the camera a little bit with it. I missed the button prompt. Oh no, there's no button prompt, but the button prompt in my mind. Oh, these things. Oh, I got some words about those things. But the game's not explaining them yet, so I'm not gonna. In fact, I might hold my words a bit for till a little bit later on, maybe even past this session. Yeah, this is what I meant by they nerfed. Down here. This is what I meant by they nerfed the wall jump. Like the wall jump's like way easier to use now. But they stuck these walls in that you can't wall jump off of. And on top of that, in fact, when you got a one tile wide corridor like this, like, you can't wall jump up it. Like, why? Especially since this item, like, isn't even that hard to get. Like, you literally just need an item, like, I think one of the next items we're gonna get. So it's like, why not just let me wall jump to get it a bit early? It's like in huge contrast to Zero Mission, which is extremely speedrunner friendly. This game at least gives the air that it's not very speedrunner friendly. because it really doesn't like you doing shit to skip stuff. Because I noticed in speedruns in this game, there's a lot of out-of-bounds stuff. Which I know there's a little bit of that in a lot of speedrun games, but those usually don't show up in Metroid, at least as far as I'm aware. Does this go? Oh, you know, I did want to save. I have a confusing button layout because I want jump to be the bottom button and shoot to be the side button. Just when you say A, that's not what A is on my controller. Ah. This time I have 4 Metroids not down. Ow. Shame we don't get to hear the surface music of SR3D8 for very long. I don't know. Maybe I can go in there. Oh god, no. It's hot. Whoops. Yeah, it's at least nice that they mark the doors that are hot. They're like too hot for the power suit. So you just don't walk through and take a bunch of unnecessary damage. Oh yeah, another thing to notice. Yeah, on the bottom screen there, you got a Metroid radar, so that's there to help you figure out where Metroids are. It is courteous that they've put in tech to where enemies won't just jump out at you from off screen. At the same time, it is still annoying that I have to stop and point at the enemy, get the camera to point at the enemy. I think that breaks the thing a little bit. Oh, whoops. I guess we're down here now. Hey, it's the rare enemy in this game that doesn't try to melee attack you. Bombs. You want it? It's yours, my friend. Something kind of annoys me about because for some reason, I mean, I guess it isn't that big of a deal, but for some reason, There's a trick in Super Metroid where you can charge your beam and then go into Morph Ball and drop a bunch of bombs all at once, and like no other 2D Metroid has had that, even for any games after it. It's just like one of those things where, like, sure, it's not a huge deal that it's not there, but it's still weird. Hey, here. Yeah, that's fine, May. Although, to be fair, this game, you can drop bombs at such a pretty quick pace that I guess that's not super necessary, so... Go down, Samus. I guess I can't go up there. I thought that was a charge door. And this is a teleport station. It's essentially fast travel. Because I could... the first one of these pedals that we saw in the first area, we can teleport to it instantly with these things. And again, I have words with this, but that's a long rant, and I kind of want to let it settle in as a concept before I go poisoning the well, I guess. Yeah, they're kind of like owl statues. That's one annoying thing about the counter system in this game is sometimes enemies just don't want to behave. Ow. It's like you'll expect them to counter and they just... You'll expect them to do their counterable move and they just won't do it. Ice beam get. Okay, this is where it's gonna get a little bit weird. Okay, so instead, this baffles me a little bit, because like on the surface, yes, it's a convenient thing to have this on the touchscreen rather than a button, because like when you're playing this on a normal 3DS, it's right, like these buttons on the touchscreen are right next to your thumb anyways, so it's not the worst thing ever. Oh, yeah, Ice Beam and your regular beam are on different settings. What I don't get is why you can't select, why you can't choose them with select. Because I'm pressing the select button right now and it just brings up the map just like start does. And this is going to get awkward with an item we're going to get later because I'm going to have to do some weird finger acrobatics to get it to go in. That's one of the disadvantages of playing this on emulator. Because I've looked in the settings, and as far as I can tell, there's no way to map something to like a position on the screen. And it's like, I don't know how they made the Ice Beam worse than in this game, because it's barely something you use to kill things. Like, it's something you can't really use to kill things because it takes so long to kill them with the Ice Beam. Like, it's purely just a... Like, just a... What's the word I'm looking for? Utility now? rather than a weapon. I preferred the way Zero Mission did it, where it just like smartly knew which enemies like were and were not necessary for freezing. A little bit far away. Damn it. I think that's better. Never mind, I can't get up there anyway. Unless maybe I just need you to go higher. Which is hard to do when you don't stay at your apex for very long. Yeah, I think we're getting an item to make that easier to get anyway. Yeah, again, I can understand making the ice beam more of a utility item than an outright weapon. Just... Zero Mission did it better, in my opinion. Or it's just an add-on, and like it... And it's very well aware of which enemies you need to freeze and which you don't. Although another weird thing about the ice beam in this game is that you have to use the charge beam to actually freeze things for very long. Because normal shots like don't freeze them for any longer than like a second and a half. I imagine they will fix it in Dread, because like from what I've seen of Dread, they've listened to the criticism levied at this game. Why the Spartamo's down here, not in this thing's hand, who knows? Something invented by this game, not the Prime games, is the Spider Ball, which, so long as you're holding L, allows you to climb walls. Only ever appeared in this game, as far as 2D Metroids go. I don't mind if they brought it back for Dread, but since they already have some ability in that game called Spider something or other, I half believe not. But who knows, maybe. Yeah, I'd imagine they'd have to duck the speed to have it. Well, oh, here's another alpha. This one's the full powered bear, and since we have the ice beam now, if you remember, Metroids are weak to ice. You know, being dragon type, I guess. We can damage them without the need of missiles. But it's one thing that icing is useful for, at least. I might as well skip this. Yeah, that's what I thought. I miss Spring Ball. I got so used to it in Zero Mission, and I have to get used to not having it anymore. Yeah, like I was saying, I think it makes sense to keep the Spider Ball speed down, just so like you can't use it to like outspeed the enemy with it or anything, because that'd be a bit weird. And of course, they give me the ability to climb on walls, and like a gremlin, I'm gonna climb on those goddamn walls. Scan Pulse is going to be useful for 100%ing this, because I am full. Because I will 100% this one, but both because it's not very hard, and also because it actually unlocks, getting 100% actually unlocks something in this game. Actually, I think it unlocks something in a Zero Mission as well. It unlocks the ability to play the original Metroid. At least I'm fairly certain it does. It's hard to tell because my first playthrough was 100%, but it's full. Yeah, this one takes a note after the prime and has a 100% ending. Which may or may not be hints toward what may or may not happen in Dread. We're just gonna have to see, and I might not know till Dread comes out because I'm electing to avoid any other spoilers. Because by the looks of it, they're just dumping plot spoilers. Not that story's like a gigantic deal in Metroid, but, you know. I just wouldn't mind, like, playing it as blind as I can. I think I can... go back into here to get a couple of items. Is that here? I might be getting turned around. Now. I can forgo you entirely. Considering the events of Fusion, technically, yes. Samus are super important. That's not an ability we're gonna get for a while. They invented some freaky roadblocks. Yeah, for all the complaints I have about this game, this is probably the most fluidly Samus has ever controlled. Like, aside from, like, the weird, arbitrary wall jump limitations. No, this is not the right way. Where is that? Now I'm kind of wishing I had the frickin'... Wait, can I draw on the map? Drag the location of the map. Oh, this does have pins. Huh, I completely forgot that. Okay, good to know. I thought that was something they invented for... Nah, I didn't make it too super far out. Listen, Toad. Sit down. I didn't make it super far yet. Yeah, I thought pins was something they invented for Dread, but I guess that was a feature I completely missed in this game. Is that the door down there I'm looking for? Yeah, here we go. Screw your ice beam shenanigans. I don't need to do it. Or I can just climb the wall. This is probably partly why... Well... Either way, yeah, there's... energy tanks are in... Or Aeon tanks are in on the pickup. I think this game has the most pickups overall. Once again, the enemy not behaving when I would really like it to do its counterable move. Dang it. No, 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 I don't. Ignore the thing. It ain't worth it. Right, I'm gonna climb out of here. Yeah, this one has fast travel. Again, I got words for it, but I'll reserve that for later. It's convenient in the end, so that's nice at least. Just again, I'll talk about it later. Maybe not even necessarily in this session. Just I wanted to settle in as a concept before I go tearing into it. Never mind. Where do I go then? Down here, possibly. Wasn't paying attention to the map. Just want to get down here. Squeeze me. That's one annoying thing about this whole countering system that they got in this game. Is like oftentimes I'm not just having to wait on this enemy to behave and do its attack before I have to move on. So it's There's a lot of moments in this game where it just asks you to stop your momentum and wait on the enemy to do its thing, rather than just allowing you to be the proactive one. It's like you can run and gun it, but you're gonna take a bunch of unnecessary damage by doing it. Another annoying thing, they don't... Like, they respawn when you go off screen, not so much when you exit the room, even. What do I do in here? Scandals time. Thought I hit that. I guess I didn't hit it with a hard enough thing. The reason I couldn't just bomb that was because of this annoying little fan right here. It just sucks on your bombs. Ow. Switch to ice beam. I think I got it set at a pretty good volume, because normally that's another one of those gross sounds that blows my ears out. But it didn't that time, so I guess I haven't set it down long enough, or low enough at least. This is breakable. Well, I thought that was breakable somehow. Another thing that hints that a Metroid is nearby is you usually see their husk left behind from when they shed. Again, with the radar, it's usually not like super needed, but it's still a hint. Ice beam. Focus. Oh, you can see it running around in the background. I didn't notice that. Yeah, because this game's 2.5, they can have a whole bunch of neat little background details, so that's nice. This bit. This is weird. Well, I think the reason why the ice beam does like barely any damage is so you can refreeze enemies. God dang it. It's not a huge deal. There we go. Another little baby. It's too soon. Like, give me a second chance. Ow. You headbutt me? Jerk. I don't think it's easy enough to deduce that the Chozo built this temple, because they're the ones that colonized the planet. Right, you have to get out to be your own conventional means. There we go. I can't just let you leave like a normal person. Usually my strategy for fighting these guys is shoot at them from a distance with the ice beam, and whether they get close, bring out the missiles. That's because the missiles have a little travel time, have a lot more travel time on them. That's 4 out of 4. Yeah, maybe I just had it set too high when I played this in practice. Because that little radar beep just blew out my ears every time I heard it. I'm gonna go gremlin mode and crawl over the walls. A missile station as well. Works either way. Things are annoying because they so often place them right outside the exit of a room. Ow. It's so strange how I think they invented this counter system to prevent this situation of getting bonked in the head when you're trying to go up. I still get bonked in the head. Save. I could shortcut to the hot area to get through this faster, but why risk it? Especially since I only have 2 energy tanks. Down. Almost fell in the grape soda. Since we're up here anyway, might as well go back and get that item. And I needed the spider ball to get. Even though if this was any other 2D Metroid, I could just wall jump up there, but... Go away. Another loading thing about this game that goes faster on emulator is the elevators. Because just like in the Prime game, all the elevators are disguised loading screens, but because this is on the emulator, the loading screens are cut down significantly, so it's kind of silly to see her go up an aerial elevator for less than a second. Yes. Could have just gotten this via wall jumping, but had to make me wait. Up there. Oh, and just like with wall jumping, these walls of sludge, honey, or whatever make you slide down if you're spider balling up it. No, that's just a shortcut up. So, just gonna have to go all the way back down. The frame rate mostly stays stable, but it might be dropping some frames here and there because I'm streaming at the same time. It really do be like that sometimes. I'm surrounded by the pancake monsters. Ow. Now we can go down this way now that there's no more grape juice. You have to plant yourself right there. They have little puzzly bits here and there to be absolutely sure you have the items. From the previous area. Does this go anywhere? Yes, in fact. Oh yeah, another way they nerfed the wall jumping is in Zero Mission you could wall jump up the same wall to get some really cheeky skips, but Samus's wall jumping arc is so strong you can't do that anymore. Oh, I guess this is just the mandatory path. Ow. Did you get missiles then? Assholes. Oh, never mind. Get out of here then. Oh, right. Yeah, that's right. Duh. Another thing about this thing being too 5D is sometimes you see inconsistencies in the wall that look like they're inconsistent on purpose. Like there's something hidden there, but evidently not. It could just No, there's nothing there. Okie doke. Down to the next floor. I swear I'm better at countering by the time we get to late game. It's kind of weird because the whole guaranteed charge shot thing also kind of invalidates some enemies. When like almost all of them get one shot by a charge beam anyway. Now yeah, if you need a structural stability test, Samus is your gal. I don't know why I missiled it. It doesn't power up your missiles. You fool. Metroids. Nice thing about this game's soundtrack is it does keep the general vibe of the original Metroid 2. While still having it be music now. Because Metroid 2's soundtrack is more like a soundtrack with a question mark next to it. There's like the surface theme, and then the ruins theme, and then the rest of the soundtrack is just kind of incessant beeping. Which works for that game's tone, by the way. I'm not necessarily saying that's a bad thing. I know a lot of people make fun of Metroid 2's soundtrack, but it's still probably one of the creepiest soundtracks of the 2D Metroids, in all honesty. Despite how minimalist it is. Teleport point. This wall. Okay. I was gonna say that wall looked really suspicious. And the enemy not behaving. It's like you're supposed to do your tackle that I can parry, but then it just doesn't, and then I have to wait. And again. Something on the other side of that wall. Ugh. Thank God you can carry multiple enemies at once. With beeping incessantly red like that, that probably means there's a Metroid in here. Oh, and this is a flame variant. It has a slightly different attack pattern. If we get to see it before I kill it. Oh, there it is. The normal Alpha Metroids just drop little electric bombs. This one drops a fire bomb that lights the whole platform on fire for a split second. And I think they have more HP, maybe. Dang it. Out of here. Alright. Again, the Spider Ball's not in any other 2D Metroid, so sometimes I forget about it. Bomb? There we go. And this is the lightning armor. Yeah, I can explain it. It's not too hard to explain. Okay, here it is. Essentially, it's invincibility you can switch on. It can run out, though, obviously. I need to go back down to recharge up. There we go. It really is golden feathers. Thankfully, when you're in those things, it doesn't deplete as fast as when you're getting slammed by a bunch of flies. Really important for here. These things really hurt. We can only get them off here by going to the water. we opened earlier. I should get a straw so I don't make gross slurpy sounds. When I'm just trying to hydrate. Sometimes I just swing my arm out of impatience. I miss ball jump. Staying hydrated is valid in any stream. Oh, these things. Get ready to have this problem unsolved for almost the entirety of the game. Ow. They kind of used this game's original version, the original Metroid 2, having almost entirely blank backgrounds, more like a blank canvas. And I do think there's a bit of missed opportunity in not having this game be a little bit darker and edgier. But if nothing else, this still looks nice. Face. I get for like a 2.5D remake, they do have to like add a little bit more context to the world than just having it be black and dark all over the place, but when Zero Mission remade a very black and very dark game, they ran with it with a whole neat new art style. What's up here? I think it's a Metroid room. Yes. I jumped over your counterable attack. Whoops. They do add little gimmicks in the room. Because, again, in the original Metroid 2, it was just mostly the same fight over and over again for each type of Metroid. But in this game, they add a slight bit of variation in the room design, like how this one has the water at the bottom, so you're kind of forced to move slow and have a really limited jump. So you have to time your jumps a little bit better. I haven't played any M2R, so I wouldn't be the best judge of that. Though that said, while I would call Zero Mission like an ideal remake, in the sense that it remakes the original Metroid in about the best way you can remake it, I don't know if I'd call this a particularly good remake of Metroid 2 specifically. Again, not that it's a bad game, just in the sense that there's just some aspects of it that I feel like misses the point of the original Metroid 2 a little bit. Again, a lot of that is stuff I'll get into later. Background friend. The friend that's in the background. Yeah, it's like, in the end, I think I'd call this a good game based on Metroid 2. Just not a good remake of Metroid 2, if any of that makes sense. Yeah. Oh, is that not? Oh, okay. I should heal. Never know what's going to come down to the wire. I really have a nice amount of missiles right now. There you are. Trying to poop all over me. Again, I think it's a valid criticism to say this game was a little bit repetitive with how it has you fight the same boss over and over. But personally speaking, I think it's kind of neat that the bosses, they are kind of simple, especially the first two variants of the Metroids. But that still feels satisfying to like take each one out with more and more efficiency each time. Especially as you get onto the later variants of the Metroids, where they're significantly more harder. I killed this one. It was standing in front of it. Right, I can't get up there. I don't think. Anyway. No go. I didn't realize how much that thing shows up in the background. What's up here? Oh, these annoying things. These things are brats because they deal a lot of damage. Oh, shoot. Dang it. I got by unscathed. Sweet. As well. I don't think there's any way down there just yet. No, sometimes there's just animal vibing in the background. Much like real life. Right, can't go this way just yet. I do kind of wish this game was a bit more like again, the Zero Mission comparisons, but I do wish it was a bit more like Zero Mission in that it kept the enemy design more one-to-one, like in Zero Mission. Because, like, yeah, these bat things are cool, but I guess it's kind of lame that they're more obviously bats when the original version of those enemies was just some kind of insectoid mosquito bat hybrid head thing that had a weird proboscis. Can't go in there because it's hot. Trust me, I know the feeling right now, Samus. Oh. Hi. Fire-breathing Chozo statues, what will they come up with next? I can now go into the hot place. Because I have my big-ass shoulders. Oh hey, that music's familiar. Are these the ones I can kill? No. Yeah, it kind of kills the vibe. Like, I appreciate a throwback, especially this Super Metroid as much as the Ow, next guy, but oh. Or as much as the next gal, but like I guess it still kind of breaks the vibe to have all this like lo-fi ambient music be interrupted by the lower Norfair theme. This way. You're immune to heat, but somehow fire still hurts. Like just a regular flamethrower still hurts. So you're gonna do your thing? There. Some item around here. Oh wait, I know where it is. Lost. So another one. Yeah, it's kind of weird because it makes Magmore Caverns feel weird in retrospective. Because back when they brought this theme back in Magmore Caverns, it was a cool throwback. But now they're kind of treating the Lower Norfair theme as like the Mario 3 athletic theme of Metroid. Ow. I would like to go into this next room with full health, if I can help it. Ow. Thankfully, I got infinitely spawning arena enemies. Okay, this fight's a doozy. I'd say this is up there as like the second hardest 2D Metroid behind Fusion. This is our first Gamma Metroid. And this early on in the game, it's not a joke. For now, it's just behaving like an alpha, but here it is. Ah. Okay, good. I can go on the ground and attack you from there. Ow. It deals a ton of damage this early on. This first fight with this thing's scary. Okay, got it. I got bonked in the cutscene, but it doesn't matter because I didn't get hurt. Alrighty. Yeah, first two times I fought the first fight of that thing, I got stuck there. There's another one of those moments where I say I get stuck, but then I beat it the first try. Dang it. Cheeky assholes. Putting the fall-through box there. Of course, they have you do this fight, which you're likely to end on low health, and they tease you with that thing through a wall. It's still rather a health station, but I digress. Wave beam. It's odd to get wave beam this early. Or at the very least before you get spacer beam. Kill that. It's not until the later power. Don't get too excited. Yeah, I meant to missile. And of course, by the time you get here, you're back to full health anyway from killing all the enemies, so... Womp womp. Oh. I'm gonna get pooped on by the bird. Oh, hi. Can I get in there? I guess not. No. I find it funny that they made Samus' counter slightly slower in the water. Like, yes, that's realistic. That's what water resistance is. I still find it funny that they make that's a detail they just have. Out of here. Stop it with your fire. I find it funny that they hide an energy tank behind this of all things, as if your first instinct would be to run into that. Okay, that's what I thought. This is the way back up. Never mind. Is there a way down here? I swore there was something to get down here. Huh. Down here. God dang it. Exit your existence from my premise, please. Well, I guess there's nothing down here. I will say, though, this map's a little hard to read sometimes. Why didn't you shoot? That's because, especially when you got a bunch of doors all next to each other like this, it gets a little bit cluttered. Oh wait, there is something here. It's just hidden behind the wall. Yeah, here we go. This is what I was thinking of. High jump boots. Hopefully we won't be saying bye jump boots. The background thing scared me. That's why I was convinced I was so convinced there had to be something down here because that's how you get up here with the high jump boots. But now we have that activated. As soon as Samus wants to cooperate. I really like to jump you with stuff right once you get out of a room. I can shoot you from behind a wall. Bet you feel inadequate now, jerk. Trying to think. How many? We have half the Metroids. How do we get down there again? Oh wait, there's one more item we have to get. I remember now. Yeah, right, because he can't get out of here until he gets high jump boots. And then you can use the high jump boots to... Actually, I guess I could use the teleporter to get out here. It's just a mess of enemies. I was gonna leave. To be fair, I think that's just a Metroidvania trope in general. Ow. Jerk. funny looking ball. Oh, that's because it is a funny looking ball. Ow. Killing is simultaneously easy, but also hard. Like, easy in that his attacks aren't too hard to dodge, but it is easy to get cornered, and he does a ton of damage. There we go. Hey, he demonstrated the spring ball for us, and I can stop feeling so naked while in ball form. I got introduced to the magic of the spring ball, and now I can't live without it. This is how you circumvent these annoying fan things. Yeah, the countering's still in Dread. They've just improved it a lot because you can counter while moving. It's like I pointed out earlier in the stream, but it's very often I have to keep breaking my momentum to stop and let these enemies do their thing, rather than just like get a move on. But they added the dash counter, which if you time it correctly just KOs an enemy in your way anyway, so that's pretty sweet. That's what I said, I got my fair share of problems with this game, but and like I'm lightly worried with Dread because it's clearly very based on this game here, especially mechanically. But it's little stuff like that that tells me they've listened to criticism levied toward this game. So hopefully it'll be for all the better. That shocked me. That's rude. No, we've never been that way. Finally getting out of here. Okay, there it is. Switch over to ice. Wait, is he in the background here? I guess we're talking about the previous screen. Yeah, there's nothing this way. I suppose not. Oh yeah, and when you scan pulse and hear the hiss, that means you've scan pulsed a room the Metroid's in. Thankfully, with a slightly stronger weapon, I can take out these guys without absolutely needing to counter them. Most of the time, anyway. Switch to Ice Beam again. Somehow this ain't a fire variant. Oh, yeah, sometimes Metroids can retreat. This one's not too egregious because it just went higher up in the room, but they can run into entirely different rooms later on. I forgot this was the first instance of that happening. Is there anything down here? No. Saves me a lot of clumsily bombing the walls for no reason. Snail things make such a cute noise. I feel bad for killing them. Do it again, thank you. I need ice. Actually, speaking of ice, I'm gonna take a drink. I think it's just a way back. Here's the fire variant. This thing becomes immune to missiles by sheer force of being on fire. Well, that's almost the last Metroid. Is the last Metroid, because it sure as hell is not in captivity. Oh yeah, I think I know where it is. Oh yeah, right. They gave me this easy out, I'm gonna take it. The easy out didn't go anywhere, it turns out. Out. Okay, now we might as well use these things. Yes, I know how it works. Touch the screen. And no. I cannot conceive a galaxy at peace until the last Metroid is in captivity. These things look a bit like the Bear Club barnacles. I guess I could just scan pulse. Again, there's no map stations in this game, so scan pulse is kind of a replacement for that. Oh, you were doing your regular attack. I am but the fool. Don't run, you jerk. I think I've only been bonked during the cutscene twice, and it happened both times on this stream. That's kind of funny. Oh wait, I was supposed to go... this way. No. Gotta do this thing. Now we get out of here. Might as well save. I mean, to be fair, with how many times we've killed him throughout the series, Ridley's a bit more of a minor nuisance. I appreciate you not trying to shit on me while I'm trying to one-shot the toads. Ow. Yeah, I'm trying to look at the map. Yeah, there's probably still some items I can get, but given the nature of this game, I might as well just make a second run anyway. And for those that don't know, we'll see why later. That's cheating, asshole. I know it was like this in the original Metroid 2 as well, but it's just so strange just having save stations just out in the middle of nowhere. Wait, does this go? Yes, it does go that way. we break this? Is this just a shortcut? Yes. Those are always nice. Time to drain the grape juice. The game did not like that. Again, during practice, it didn't lag that much. It's probably because I'm running streaming at the same time. It's just bonking into bats, the game. Now hold on a second. Go right this way. How can I not do this? I guess I can't do this. Again, due to the nature of this, to the nature of how they constructed this game, in terms of what items you get when. Yeah, it's like I would kind of rather just do a cleanup run at the very end. Elevator time means it's drinking time. Where did Chozo get all the scraped? Oh, right, these things. Ow. Shoot. Yeah, we got a full set of 10, huh? Okie doke. Now again, 100%ing in this game is a lot easier. It just takes a while if you run at a casual pace like I am. Well, that sounds familiar, doesn't it? If you remember from the trailer. The Dread trailer, that is. The Emmy aren't in this game, but I just think it's a callback to the sound they make is a callback to this track in particular. But either way, since we've hit the 2 hour, or just over the 2 hour mark, I think that's a decent place to stop for now. Uh... I am losing my train of thought really hard right now. No, switch over. No, not that one. Pause you. Yeah, that's where we're gonna call it for today. Forgot to do what? Let me open. Winamp again. Oh yeah, that's just what we space horses do. Oh yeah, well, that's a good place to call it. Again, I'm gonna run these in like 2-hour sessions. I work the whole rest of this week, all the way up until next weekend. So in terms of streaming next time, I'm just gonna wait till then, because I'm gonna have the whole weekend to myself. And I'll have more than plenty of time to stream then. I could probably even go for longer, like a slightly longer session. I don't really have a usual stream time because, like, again, this is just like hobby streaming, and I'm kind of at the mercy of because I still have a 40-hour work week outside of this, so I'm kind of at the mercy of that. So it's kind of just whenever I have a day off, and ideally when I'm home alone. Oh right, I'll usually stream later than earlier than this. Like usually sometime around like 1 p.m. EST, sometimes 2. Sometimes maybe even noon. It just kind of depends on when I rally up the mood. It just ended up being so late this time just because 6:30 is about the time when I can ideally not get bothered. Oh, holy cow, it's hot in here. I'm not really knowledgeable on what the process of rating is. It's like you could just drop the suggestion and like, yeah, when the stream's over, which it will be in just like a couple minutes. Oh yeah, just go ahead and go over to that person's stream. I'm glad you enjoyed it, Ryan. Bastards like summon a raid by typing in their name. Who was it that were raiding then? Yeah, I'm new to this, so like that stuff's sort of beyond me, I guess. You enjoy your meal, Smash Sturge. God, I hope you don't hear those slurping noises. I'm sorry. I'll get a straw next time. Glad you have a nice time, Caliburn. Thank you. I feel so conceited complimenting myself, but it's like, holy cow, I knocked out of the park with my unicorn persona there. It's like, I know it's like slightly garish to compliment your own art, but it's like, I like how she turned out a lot. I was like, there's a reason why she's like been my main Sona ever since I've made her. As like as someone whose sense of identity is constantly in flux, there's probably going to be a point where I'd like go back to Vixie. Not necessarily for streaming. Like I think it's just going to be Luna, my unicorn Sona for streams. But no, yeah, it's like I used to be pretty hard on my art for a while, but I've kind of hit a point where it's like, you know what, I actually kind of like my art style at this point. Again, understandable that seems conceited, but it's the truth. And I guess there is a downside in that. It's like I've gotten comfortable with how my art is, so there's been less incentive to improve, I guess. Not to say I haven't tried, but it's like I could do more dynamic poses a little bit more often, but and again, maybe more wallpaper. Yeah, that's a whole thing. Because I used to have my art schedule used to get so absorbed into making sketches for me to finish later, but then I'd head up with so many sketches that I'd be completely overwhelmed with stuff to finish, and then I can't decide on what to finish. So it's like, at least temporarily, I've kind of decided I'm just going to pretend my sketch backlog doesn't exist and just focus on making new stuff for a bit. Is kind of what I've been doing for like the past week and a half or so. And I was like, I've been enjoying that a lot more than what I was doing before already. Well, this song in particular is a little loud. Oh, thank you, Ryan. Yeah, because I got 2 drawings done today. Like, earlier today. I got 2 whole drawings done today because I'm not so caught up in sketching anymore. And those will be going up over the course of the next couple days. Because like I usually finish up ahead of time and then I set up a time to upload them. At least when it's not something like the Basque Legion I drew not too long after Legends Arceus. Lets me more time to work on type scrambled decks too. Because gosh knows I fell behind in that a little bit until I like sat down for an entire evening and just sketched the rest of Gen 1. Glad you like the Sleepy Snorlax. That was another one that ended up being so lucky that it wound up being Psychic type. It's like, I could just borrow Musharna's concept. It really works for Snorlax, so why not? I'm excited to get to Mewtwo and Mew because those wound up being really cool. Okay, we can turn the music back up. I should probably get a mic on an arm because I'm kind of hunched over because I just have a desk mic. Probably not ideal for my posture. Yeah, it gets challenging sometimes. It's like, gosh knows, I sat on the Fire Ice Execute for so long because I had no clue what to do with it for the longest time. And I guess slightly unfortunate that it's slightly a cop-out because friggin' Galarian Darmanitan has such a similar concept. Although I think I came up with it first. Not to be all me first over it, but you know, it's just one of those weird timing things. It's like Pokemon comes out with so many Pokemon, and there's so many Fakemon out there that it's just bound to be there's just bound to be things that are alike sometimes. It's just kind of funny when it happens. Yeah, I mostly borrowed Musharna's concept because, like, obviously Musharna wouldn't be the same, so... Because there'd be no possible way it'd be Psychic type because it'd be changed from Psychic type. This one or the one before? Well, they were both Mega Man music. Yeah, that's Mega Man 11's Wily stage theme. They're from a bunch of different games. It's just like, again, I picked a bunch of music I already had on my computer and stuck it in a playlist. Just like anything that'd be pleasant to listen to, but wouldn't be too super distracting. I'm not sure what the NES Pictionary theme is. I'd have to look that up. One of the benefits of watching Rauco videos is he does a lot of contests, and I get introduced to a lot of cool music because of the music that gets used in contests a lot, or the contest levels. Like, where is it? I know I stuck it on here. It's in alphabetical order. It shouldn't be that hard to find. There it is. It's like, I don't know anything about Freedom Planet, but this song got used in a level in Maggle X3. It just sounds like really good music. Again, I don't know anything about Freedom Planet, I just like that song. Let me pause this. Hopefully this doesn't... That's NES music? How did you do that on NES? This sounds like NES-inspired music, not music from an actual NES game. What the hell? No kidding, sheesh. This is just for some board game thing. I like this comment. Tim, it was just Pictionary. Tim Fallen, you're a madman. Holy shit. Yeah, I've never heard an NES song go precisely that hard. That's crazy. I mean, it's just music, so why not? To be clear, this song right here is Pangu Lagoon 1 from Freedom Planet. Specifically the Japanese version. It's just nice music. Alright, either way, I think that's a good point to cut the stream. If you're following me on Twitch, or if you're watching this on Twitch, rather, follow me if you want. You don't have to if you don't want to. If you're watching this on YouTube, click any of the buttons you want. Maybe one of them will do something. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you, like I said, Saturday and Sunday later this week. Assuming nothing else comes up, I'll have more than plenty of time then to stream, because I'll have the house to myself for the whole weekend, or at least most of the weekend. Because again, ideally, I'd rather just stream while I'm home alone, just to reduce the interruptions. But anyway, see you then. Again, I'll keep updated on Twitter if anything changes, so see y'all.